What is going on, Misfit Nation? Welcome back to another episode of the Misfit Wrestling Podcast. I am your host, Matt, the Misfit, for your AEW WrestleDream 2023 review and results. Before I get into the show here, I talk about the debut of Edge. Yes, I am still in shock that I'm saying this, that AEW had the debut of Edge, Adam Copeland. Still doesn't feel real. We also had a classic, instant classic with Bryan Danielson and Zack Sabre Jr. Swerve, Strickland, and Hangman Page tore it down, as well as we had a nasty ass-kicking match with Claudio and Josh Barnett. Also, Shibata and Eddie Kingston. Before I talk about that, I do want to let people know that my original Twitter account, Misfit Podcast TV, unfortunately, for some fucking reason, I don't understand the reason. I still haven't figured this out. I'm still working to find out what happened to it. But it got banned. I don't know how it got suspended, but it did. So for the time being, my Twitter is currently, until they've fixed the issue, because there's an issue with, I guess, trying to change Twitter handles, I guess. I don't know. There's something going on there. But right now, it's Misfit Wrestle PD. I'm trying to change it to Pile Driver Pulse. But I'll let you guys know whenever I can change that. Hopefully soon. But you can follow that over there. Just look at the link in the description below for youtube.com/@Misfit Wrestling Podcast. It'll have my link tree details in there. But everything else is pretty much the same. Misfit Wrestling Pod on Instagram, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, Audible, Pandora. All those things are still the same. But as right now, I have to restart building up my Twitter account because Elon Musk is a piece of shit. And I hope nothing but bad things happen to Elon Musk. What else was I going to... Oh, other things that happened on the channel. Last night, we put up the Stardom 5-star Grand Prix review. That's up on the channel. And wherever else on the podcast there, on the YouTube and everywhere else. I did watch it. I'm going to say AEW. I did watch NXT No Mercy. The show was fine. The show was actually really good. I enjoyed the show. Ilya Dragunov became your new NXT champion. Great, fantastic match. What I liked about this show, this weekend in particular, and I said to this one of my friends here, I've said to Patrick, and I said to a few people I've been talking to here. I was talking to Andreas and Angus Apple Dummy. Angus G. Apple Dummy, I believe. I'm sorry if I mispronounced your name on the Twitter, but I said, looking through my match of the year candidates for and choices for the year-end awards, I counted it, and as of today, there is 94 matches in the match of the year candidate list, and at least 4 of those matches happened on 3 different shows in the span of 2 days. I'm talking about the finals of the 5-star Grand Prix between Micah and Suzuki, then on NXT No Mercy that happened earlier on that day, Ilya Dragunov and Carmelo Hayes for the NXT Championship, and then tonight with 2 matches, that being Swerve Strickland and Hangman Page, plus the other match being Bryan Danielson and Zack Sabre Jr. But let's talk about this news with Edge here. He is going to be called Adam Copeland in AEW, but I'm not going to call him Adam Copeland in AEW because I'm just going to, just like I don't call Pete Dunne Butch, I'm not going to call Edge Adam Copeland. He's Edge to me, and he will always be Edge. He's going to be also known going by the Rated R Superstar. Because that trademark has been abandoned since 2000 and April 2020. I believe April 2020. and WWE just didn't renew it. It actually hasn't had it renewed for even longer than that. So WWE, they let that one go. I'm surprised Edge didn't try to copyright that name. Try to at least buy that name out for WWE. He probably tried. There's probably a good chance that he'll eventually do that. But I'm just gonna call him Edge on when I review. I'm still processing the fact that I am gonna review AEW shows going forward with Edge as part of the roster. So here is what Fightful had to say earlier on before the show, 11 hours before the show went on the air, or not 11 hours before the show went on the air, maybe a couple hours before the show. I don't remember. It was like around 2:30ish, I guess, when that news came out. He said it was an Edge update. Like I said, we found out Edge is now currently a free agent. Well, no longer. He is signed with AEW. We'll talk about what his contract details is in just a little bit here. Edge had claimed that all of his matches had been used up on his WWE deal, which ended up being absolutely true. Edge was taken off the internal active rosters list from PW Insider, who reported that. Prior to tonight, he was still listed as a member of the SmackDown roster. Obviously, now that he's no longer with the company, now with AEW, that he will be moved to the alumni section. No, actually, he'll be moved back to just the Hall of Fame page. One source we spoke to does not believe that AEW owns exclusive rights to the licensing the song Metalingus, which we did confirm and find out that he did, in fact, use. There was also a good chance that he could have used the Rob Zombie's Never Gonna Stop song, but he went with Metalingus because he is friends with the band of Alter Bridge. And anytime Edge wants to use that song, the guy is just like, sure. So right now, WWE owns the name Edge, but there's because just like the whole thing with Cody Rhodes, Edge could get that name somehow. I don't know how they're going to do it, how they would, but they probably will. Speaking of Edge here, this is the backstage news here. So Edge is all elite. Fightful has already spoken to a number of, this is from, by the way, Fightful Select, spoken to a number of sources within AEW who have unanimously have positive receptions to Edge joining the company. In addition to him being around full time, he's going to be a full time wrestler. He's going to be doing the CM Punk deal before the whole All Out thing happened last year. Doing the Dynamites, the Rampages, the Collisions, the pay-per-views. We even have a match set up for next week's Dynamite on Tuesday night, where they're going to go head-to-head with the NXT. Edge is going to take on Luchasaurus. Sign me the fuck up for that. We're told Edge will have a significant presence within the company and has expressed his willingness to help in a variety of capacities. One long time AEW talent said that Edge spoke about Edge filling the gap that CM Punk left behind, and in that he'd be helpful and not cause any issues internally, which I don't see what CM Punk was doing happening with Edge. Edge is that type of guy who is actually willing to not get into a fight with people backstage. That person did reiterate that Punk himself has been helpful to many within the company as well. Regarding this theme, WWE never held exclusive licensing rights to the song, as Fightful Select had speculated earlier today. However, there are some surprise within AEW that WWE will allow the Radar Superstar trademark to lapse, which I just talked about, and didn't bother renew it, like I previously mentioned, which something like I was able to find out when that news about sorry, I hit my microphone there. When the news about the song and all that stuff came out earlier with Fightful, and I was able to look into that, and that's all I found out about the Rated R Superstar thing not being being free of use, that he could have used it. Where was I going on there? Within WWE said that it became obvious to them at the start of the summer that Edge wasn't returning. One AEW talent said that they were not officially clued in, but that this was the worst kept secret in wrestling. Kind of. Talent in AEW and WWE both spoke about Edge jumping ship as if it was going to happen back as midsummer or mid-August. Excuse me. Sources that had worked with Adam Copeland or Edge spoke as if he was, in fact, before that. If it was a fact, even before his last match with Sheamus on that SmackDown episode, though many were not told in an official capacity until well after that. Throughout this weekend, WWE and AEW talent had started speaking after very matter of fact about the possibility of Edge joining the company. Edge was kept somewhat hidden, but admitted that he popped out to hang with Darby Allin and get food, and had been in town all weekend. WWE sources we spoke to claimed that Edge left on good terms, which is good, and would be welcomed back into the company if he ever returned. The overwhelming consensus was a positive within AEW and a happy with for him within AEW. So that's not AEW, WWE. So that's good. I love the fact that WWE is not mad that Edge left them to go to AEW. They're happy for him. So this is kind of like Bryan Danielson in a way. This to me feels like this is like a Bryan Danielson situation here, where Bryan in 2021, when he had that match with Roman Reigns, an incredible match with Roman Reigns on that SmackDown episode. I forgot which SmackDown it was. It was, oh God, which SmackDown was that? I see. Now I gotta look this up here because this is going to hurt my brain if I don't remember this here. Here it is. It was the SmackDown on. It was actually the last SmackDown of April, April 30th, 2021. His last ever appearance for WWE, and then he went away for a little bit. His contract expired, and he signed with AEW. And he showed up he signed with AEW and showed up at All Out that same year. And both Bryan and WWE left on good terms, and again, same with Bryan. They told Bryan he's welcome back anytime. He's welcome with open arms if he ever wanted to come back, and Bryan has said that much. Kairi Sane is in that same situation. Well, Kairi Sane's already going back, so she left on good terms too. So I love to see that. I do love to see that when WWE's not being a piece of shit to their talent. But you know, that's good to see here. But let's talk about the show here. This show was excellent. This show was an excellent pay-per-view. It goes into the match, not the match of the year. What was that other thing called that I have? In the year in the words of show of the year. Let's look at the show of the year right now. Let's look at the current list of what I have listed as show of the year, and I have currently I have a clue here, but we started off with Wrestle Kingdom 17 in January. Impact's Hard to Kill. The retirement show for Keiji Muto. The Last Love in February. AEW's Revolution. Super Card of Honor. WrestleMania 39 Part Night 1. Stardom's All-Star Grand Queendom, Backlash, New Japan Dominion, Forbidden Door, All Out. I didn't put All in here because I didn't think it was, show of the year. It was a good show, but it wasn't. I wouldn't say show of the year worthy, in my opinion. And they got All Out, which was the first major pay-per-view after AEW fired CM Punk in Chicago. By the way, that's still funny to me. And then tonight with WrestleDream here, and Edge signing with AEW joins the shocking moments of the year. And another name on these list of things here, we got Most Improved. We'll talk about her in a little bit later on, but there's a reason why I put her on here. Julia Hart absolutely deserves to be on that list as part of Most Improved Wrestler of the Year. So, good stuff. Very good stuff. It's going to be, I'm still in shock that we're going to be able to see Edge wrestling every Wednesday, Friday. Well, I'm not going to watch. I'm not going to watch the live Rampage or when it's on. I'll watch it after the fact because, SmackDown. I don't know how I'm going to do SmackDown when it comes to Collision in was it next weekend? I believe, no, it's in November. November 10th, they have a Collision taping on a Friday that's going to go head to head with SmackDown. That's going to be an interesting, they got to do something there. And I also said one of my friends, like I said, what was it I said here? Find it here. Let me see if I can find it here. I said, bruh, if CM Punk shows up in Chicago at Survivor Series, not saying that's going to happen, or saying that's happening or anything like that, but if it does, wrestling in 2023 would have topped wrestling in 2021. Because wrestling in 2021 was insane. You had the end of the pandemic era of wrestling. You had CM Punk returning to pro wrestling. You've seen other shit happen in pro wrestling. And then actually it's more did 2022. Then 2022 happened. You had one of the worst Royal Rumbles of the year. Then you had Stone Cold Steve Austin come out of retirement for a main event match with, I almost said Bryan Danielson, with, oh my God, what is his name? Kevin Owens. Vince McMahon fucking is forced to retire. Okay. Brawl out happens. Everyone's suspended and gets stripped of championships. CM Punk breaks a foot and made a big main event between him and Tanahashi is canceled. Ring of Honor is purchased in 2021, by the way. Or was it 2022? No, 2022, I believe it was purchased. Then, right, Triple H comes back from his life-threatening injury, right? Right? That's what that happened. He retired. Bray Wyatt comes back to WWE in the most epic way possible. Rest in peace, Bray Wyatt. And then to cap it all off at that weird ass year of 2022, Triple H started to have these string of fucking amazing pay-per-views, right? And then Vince McMahon, weaves his way back into WWE to start up this year. And then WWE is sold to Endeavor, and then and Cody Rhodes came back to WWE last year too. Jake Cargill signed with WWE this year. Edge is now part of AEW. This year has been fucking insane. To me, it might just get better than that. Man, we had 14 matches, I want to say, maybe on the show. And we opened 0 Hour, which To me, MVP of the night on commentary was Jon Moxley. He was hilarious all night. There was a line on tonight's show that I thought was actually hilarious. But we opened up with Shane Taylor Promotions. They took on Kojima, Keith Lee, Athena, and Billy Starks in a mixed tag of some sort here. I mean, I didn't really. I missed this match, so I can't really comment on this very much here. But Keith Lee, Kojima, Athena, and Billy Starks won here. So Kojima mows down Moriarty and unloads machine gun chops into the corner. Then he DDTs Lee Moriarty onto. Then does that. Diamante comes in, she breaks it up. Billy Starks gets rid of Diamante while Athena sacrifices herself for Mercedes Martinez, who then charges in at all that stuff. They then brawl while Shane Taylor headbutts Kojima. Keith Lee responds by slamming Shane Taylor down to the mat. Lee Moriarty then gets caught with the O face by Athena, then follows that up with Keith Lee hitting the slam by slamming him down to the mat while Kojima nails the lariat for the 1-2-3, and that's how a short match. Nothing. I mean, from what I've heard, nothing too much to write home about. But again, I missed this match, unfortunately. A match I didn't miss though. Josh Barnett and Claudio Castagnoli beating the fuck out of each other for only 10 minutes? How much time did they get on this show? How much time did they get? Oh no, yeah, no, they only get 8 minutes and 15 seconds. But this was so much of like the blood sport stuff that, and I hate this, and I have to explain this to people, but this type of stuff can work. You just gotta make sure it's done properly, and that's what unfortunately WWE failed to do with the Shane and Ronda match at SummerSlam. But here, Moxley comes out here for his first night of commentary. He apparently got in trouble because he said some dirty language and apparently had gotten fined for it. But then on pay-per-view continued spouting his dirty language, which I thought was hilarious. So, Claudio takes Josh Barnett, backs him up, then begins to focus on Barnett's arm, stretching the former UFC fighter as he began unloading the hammer and elbow, not the elbow, what the fuck is the anvil elbow strikes that they do. Josh Barnett, however, gets a hold of Claudio's legs, connects a dragon screw, a beautiful dragon screw, and then adding more pressure to the area. But Claudio wrestles his way out of the submission move. Josh Barnett then catches Claudio with a series of kicks to the leg that was being worked on by Josh Barnett. But Claudio responds with a series of uppercuts. Barnett then knees him in the chest, aims for an abdominal stretch, which is a nice touching tribute to Inoki. The show, by the way, was to be a tribute to Tony Inoki, who was probably a big fan of one of the matches that took place here tonight. So they start trading forearm strikes. Barnett then launches in a spinning heel kick as he then launches Claudio across the ring. Barnett tries to wrestle him to the mat again, but Claudio reverses into a giant swing, then looks to go for, a sharpshooter attempt that forces Barnett to reach the ropes. Claudio goes for the octopus hold, then transitions into a pinfall attempt, which Barnett catches out of and gets him to win the match, which Claudio does end up winning here. Post-match, the two go face-to-face as Barnett gets on the microphone and says that he's heard a lot about Claudio, says that he's highly regarded, but experience is another, and everyone is right. Barnett says that they don't understand how great he is. They shake hands, and Barnett says, I know he would approve of him. He's proud of Claudio and says that he's come a long way. He has a long way to go, and they will do this again. Claudio says anytime, any place. So they may do that match at a Bloodsport event, which sounds signing me up. Luchasaurus defeated Nick Wayne here. This really kind of was more of a setup for the end of the night here. Nick Wayne tried to get in the offense early on, but Luchasaurus, I think quickly regains control of the match. Then connects his chokeslam over the top rope. Again, nothing too flashy here. Nick Wayne tries to hit Luchasaurus with a flurry of kicks, but Wayne's World gets blocked by Luchasaurus. Then nails Wayne with a clubbing blow to the back of the head, which takes him down, and Luchasaurus gets the win here. The Acclaimed defeated TMDK for the AEW Trio Styles. Again, match I didn't really care too much about because I just don't. I like the Acclaimed, I really do. I do not give a shit about this AEW Trios title reign. These titles were way more interesting when it was the House of Black as the champions. That's just me. Bowens manages to roll through and tag in Martha's head. I said Bart Gunn for some bizarre reason. Billy Gunn, who starts launching TMDK members out of the ring. Tito reverses the Famouser with several kicks and then a German suplex. Caster keeps the match alive. The duo work hard to take out the Acclaim with Shane Haste launching himself off of Mikey Nichols. By the way, that's the former Shane Thorne and it was Nick Miller. It was his name in NXT when they were the Mighty, or TM 6-1, I believe it was. Nichols hits a cannonball into Anthony Bowens. However, Billy Gunn comes back again to help out as Shane Hayes and Nick. I've done Mikey Nichols. Eat barricade and ring post. Meanwhile, Bowens hits the arrival to Tito, then Max Caster nailing them with the mic drop, and the Acclaim win the match here. Oh, just put the titles back on House of Black especially if you're not going to give Malachi Black a singles run, because there is no excuse to why he's not wrestling singles matches here. Knowing how Edge is, he's going to request to wrestle Malachi Black one-on-one, whether TK likes it or not. There's that. That was 9 minutes and 20 seconds. Then we opened the main card here. MJF defeated the Righteous. The Righteous is great. I like that. Roll up though. It was sort of a roll up here, but MJF hits the Heat Seeker onto Dutch and then follows it up with legs on the bottom rope for the win. It was a fight match. But the whole selling part of the story is, they think it's MJF when I still think it's LFI. It just makes a lot of sense for it to be LFI, especially after this week. where it was, oh my god, who did Andrade? Didn't Andrade wrestle somebody on this show? Not on this show, but I could have sworn he wrestled somebody on Collision. I'm trying to remember who it was. Give me a second here. He wrestled Juice Robinson. So yeah, it makes total sense there. Which that way, by the way, that was a great match. I encourage you guys to check that out. Also last week with Jay White and Andrade, that was pretty good stuff there. But yeah, MJF, I guess it made sense for him to win here, but I would have loved to see the Righteous win here, and then further that story with Adam Cole and the Hellway deal there. I still think it's the LFI guys, mainly because they're feuding with the Bullet Club. So there's that. Eddie Kingston defending the Ring of Honor World and New Japan Strong Openweight Championships against Katsuyori Shibata. This match was great. Kingston tries to get out of a headlock by Shibata, and eventually he makes that happen by throwing him across the ring. Kingston then connects with a series of kicks, or a series of chops to Shibata, which, like I said, drops Shibata to the mat. But Shibata then responds with a huge boot, a series of kicks before Shibata nails a diving drop kick into the corner. Once again, Kingston creates some distance between him and Shibata by simply launching Shibata across the ring, but Shibata remains wrist control throughout the match. Then Shibata connects several kicks to Kingston's chest, then a big chop before locking in the Cobra Twist, which gets transitioned into the Octopus Stretch again. Again, love seeing the tributes to Tony Inoki throughout the night, which was the Octopus Stretch is what the one move people were going for throughout the night, which I thought was great. Eddie Kingston grabbed the rope just in time. Shibata hit several punches, but Kingston responded with the spinning back fist. Shibata then nailing the big boot, and then they both go down at the same time. Then they begin trading forearm chops. Kingston nails the spinning back fist again, but Shibata walks through it, only to be hit with a Northern Lights suplex. The Glorious Driver? I think that's what Julie calls it. The Northern Lights bomb, whatever you want to call it. Another spinning elbow, and then a power bomb to get the win. And Eddie Kingston is the New Japan and Ring of Honor strong champion. So it's that. Kris Statlander defeated Julia Hart, TBS title match. I love this match. This match was really good. I was kind of somewhat upset with Kris Statlander retaining here, but that's mainly because I'm a big House of Black fan, and seeing the growth of Julia Hart from that whole shitty cheerleader gimmick that she was doing to joining the House of Black, because she's been a massive improvement on television. She's probably the second best character on the show for the women. Followed in front of her is Toni Storm, which the segment from this week's Collision, oh my god, it was perfect stuff. Statlander carries Julia Hart on her shoulders back to the ring, but a distraction from Brody King, who's out there, gives Julia the opening. She takes the fight outside the ring, launching Statlander into the barricade repeatedly as she then bounces Statlander's head repeatedly off the mat before nailing several knee strikes to the ribs. Then running up the back of Statlander to hit a senton. Well, she was going back to the top rope to hit a senton. Statlander then gets some space for a power slam, following that up with a running uppercut. then a knee to the head in the corner. Statlander hits a blue thunder bomb, but only manages to be able to get 2 count. Julia then locked in. Look, tried to spit the mist, but Statlander slapped Julia to the point where she couldn't do the mist. Statlander then slammed Julia to the mat, but Julia Hart was able to kick out of anger. The champion hits a deadlift German suplex, then heads to the top turnbuckle, but Julia joins her up there. Julia launches the TNT TBS champion, back into the ring, then looks for the moonsault, but Statlander goes up and goes to the angle. That didn't happen here. However, Julia Hart was able to hit that beautiful moonsault that she hit, the same one that she hit on Dynamite on DeWillow, and then last night against who did she wrestle last night against? No, she wrestled Willow Nightingale last night. No, she was wrestled on Dynamite. She wrestled for the Vixen last night on Collision. I don't know why I was trying to say. Anyways, Statlander hits the Saturday Night Fever after a tombstone pile driver to retain TBS Championship. Again, I would love to see Julia Hart win the championship here. She'll probably do that somewhere down the line, but I thought it was pretty good here. Something I didn't really care too much about was this trio's tag match here. The winners of the match gets a shot at the AEW tag titles, and of course, wouldn't you fucking know it, it was fucking Young Bucks. I personally wanted Orange Hook to get the win here, but what do I know? V-Trigger, BTE Trigger, 2 Penta, 1, 2, 3, it was over. I didn't really care too much about this match at all. The start of the match was Ray Phoenix just not being 100% cleared. He was taken out of the match for the remainder of the match, but I just did not give a shit about this match. Something I did give a shit about, though, was Swerve Strickland versus Hangman Adam Page. This ruled. So, Strickland, by the way, Prince Nana is fucking over as hell. I just want to put that out here. Strickland turns things around earlier on in the match with an uppercut as he dives from the top turnbuckle to attack the back of Hangman Page. Page responds with a follow-away slam. Much to the fury of the AEW fan base, which, by the way, in this arena, in this town, Hangman Page is the most hated person on the planet, only because he is wrestling one of Washington's favorites, which is Swerve Strickland. So Page then nails a Liger bomb inside the ring, but Swerve was able to kick out, escape the ring. Page continues to fight on the outside as he continues to use to frustrate the fans. Coming back into the ring by diving on Strickland from the top turnbuckle. Strickland turns things around and nailing a flatliner and then a brainbuster, but Page kicks out of the pinfall attempt here. At one point, Page looks for a buckshot lariat, but Strickland keeps blocking it, leading to big boots. Eventually, Page opts to bite the finger, but when he goes to hit his finish, Swerve reverses and then stomps onto the back of Hangman's arm. Hangman, as he gets checked on by the doctors at the ring apron. Swerve did his Meteora thing from the top rope to the ring apron here. Page kicked out. Page didn't look for the buckshot layer, but Swerve kicked the arm away from the cowboy himself to swing around and nail it anyway. Page charges at him but Strickland sees him side by side as Page bounces off the ropes. He gets suplexed, however, Strickland misses the stomp and hits the buckshot lariat. However, the injured arm is kind of didn't help very much here. Near the end of it, officials getting distracted here because Prince Nana was being ejected from the building here. Page goes for the buckshot lariat, but it's not standing there. Strickland nails Page in the face with the head dress thing that Prince Nana was wearing that had the diamonds on it, and hits Night Call, and then the JLM driver, and Swerve gets one of the biggest victories of his career, beating a former AEW world champion in his hometown. So that I thought was pretty cool here. I thought this match was great. My second favorite match of the night. It was at that time my favorite match of the night until a certain match happened on the show here. That was one of the matches, the one of 4 matches from this weekend's wrestling events that I got on the match of the year in year-end awards stuff here. Really, Yuta, Ricky Starks. This really was only on here so Ricky Starks can have a match. He didn't really need to be on the show here. I love the fact that John Moxley was on commentary just saying shit, which was kind of funny, though. However, Starks takes a page out of the Blackpool Combat Club's book with the hammer and the anvil elbow strikes, but Yuta eventually catches one, starts fighting back here, yada, yada, yada. Starks then throws him into the ropes while Yuta bounces back, and he gets hit with a spear and the Randy Rochambeau for the win here. So again, I didn't care about this. Like, this match could have happened on Dynamite or Rampage or Collision, something. But they put this match on the show just so Ricky Starks can be on the show so people don't bitch about it. Ugh, woo. Here's my match of the night. 10 out of 10 match of the night here. Bryan Danielson, Zack Sabre Jr. How do I even go about talking about this match? This match, oh my God, this is one of the matches you have to go out of your way and see. Pure technical wrestling at its finest. I'm going to go halfway through the match here. So Zack Sabre Jr. begins working on the fingers of Bryan Danielson with joint manipulation, which, you know, if you know about WWE, one of my favorite wrestlers over there, Pete Dunne, does the joint manipulation stuff. He does it well. Danielson turns the thing around for him. He goes to the wall too many times as Danielson tries it again. Zack Sabre Jr. was able to counter that. Twist Bryan's neck, which got me like, oh my God. Then he tries to charge into Danielson, but he moves. Zack gets sent into the Tree of Woe as Danielson unloads some strikes. They both climb to the top turnbuckle where Zack Sabre Jr. Begins twisting the arm of Danielson, or until Danielson hits the avalanche butterfly suplex there. And near the end of the match here, Danielson opts to stop away on Zack's face, only to be caught by an arm bar. Then it gets out huge with a Busaiku knee, only for Zack Sabre Jr. to kick out too. Then they go trading back and forth here. Zack Sabre Jr. Gets hit finally with a third or fourth Busaiku knee, and then Bryan Danielson gets the win here. So I thought to me this was match of the night. I know what happened with the main event though, but to me this was, from a wrestling standpoint, this was match of the night here. Other match that was actually surprisingly good. I had no expectations going into it, even though I had Konosuke Takeshita, Will Ospreay, and Omega and Ibushi. To me, this was Ibushi's best performance in AEW since he didn't join the company, but since coming into AEW to do this stuff here. But Sammy Guevara got the pinfall win over Chris Jericho here. Omega hits the ropes, dives over the top rope after taking out the other members of the other team. Meanwhile, Sammy Guevara hits Jericho with the Spanish Fly, They follows it up with sucking him out of the ring, launching him out of the ring. I'm doing this review on half sleep. I'm sorry. Into Omega does go Jericho. The Don Callis family then takes a complete control out of talking out of each member until whatever here. Ibushi then drops Ospreay with a big right, and then absorbs Guevara doing the same. He and Takeshita, did all their stuff here. Near the end of it, inside the ring, Guevara looks to nail the Judas effect, but Ospreay sacrifices himself, then hits the Hurricane Rana onto who did he hit it onto? I was repeating a second ago. Actually, hit on nobody. Upwards. So there was a distraction. Referee, she didn't see it. He continues his distract on as Wheeler Yuta as they go GT, whatever that means here, and but yeah, I guess Floyd to the face and the baby. Now the heels won here. FTR defeated Aussie Open. This match was fine. This match was good. I just prefer the Royal Quest match more. So near the end of it, Dax Harwood bounces Fletcher off the ropes into a power bomb, gets a kick out. Aussie Open then set up Cash Wheeler on the shoulders of Fletcher. Davis off the top rope with one key with a kick to the face. However, Fletcher launches the other turnbuckle, pushing in, all that stuff here. A super shadow machine from the top rope for the win. 1, 2, 3. They get the win here. Christian, Darby Allin, main event. 2 out of 3 falls match here. Let's be real. Let's get this one out of the way. Sure, they were in Darby's hometown of Seattle, Washington. However, if I had to be a betting man here, which I'm not, this match did not go on last because they were in Seattle and they were in the hometown of Darby Allin. The real reason why this match went on last is because of what happened at the end of the show. But they proved to you why they should have made all that of the show, because they beat the shit out of each other. Darby Allin gets the first pinfall after a use of Christian's turtleneck against him. Gets one fall here. Christian beats the shit out of Darby Allin for the majority of this match here. So Nick Wayne's mom is at ringside here, and I made the joke of what did I say here? What did I say? I'm starting to. Nope, that's not it. What did I say? It was. Oh, I'm starting to see why Christian Cage is hounding Nick Wayne's mom, because she is a beautiful woman. Holy shit, Nick Wayne, you are a lucky person to have a mother who looks like that. But back to what I was saying here. All that stuff happened there. They kept going back to Nick Wayne's mom there. All that stuff here. And Christian Cage then gets his first W onto Darby Allin here. Doctors are just checking on him. He gets the shit kicked out of him. While everything's going on here, Christian exposes the wooden mat here and does all that stuff here. Coffin drop, death drop, whatever, and Christian was able to kick out. There was an unprettier kill switch, whatever you want to call it, onto the exposed wood. Darby kicked out. Then we get a rough bump as Christian was looking to spear Darby, speared the referee instead. Out comes Nick Wayne And then he turns on Darby Allin. And I'm like, yeah, I saw this coming because I was talking in the chat room and I was like, what I think is going to happen is Darby Allin is going to get turned on by, that sounded fucked up, but you know what I meant. Nick Wayne's going to turn on Darby and then it's going to set up the Edge stuff here. Then, out of nowhere, Nick Wayne smashes the TNT Championship over the face of Darby Allin, and Christian Cage gets the pinfall as the referee slowly counts 1, 2, 3. After the match, Christian holds Darby as Nick Wayne starts beating down his former mentor. Sting then makes an appearance. For the first time in my career, in my life, I've said, Sting, no, go away. I just not what I want coming out here. Luchasaurus then makes an appearance. They start having a 3-on-2 advantage here. The lights go out after, first you're just going to start doing a concerto onto Sting. Christian is. The lights go off. We've seen this video of someone driving a car and said rated R on it. Then the "you think you know me" thing happened, and Metal English plays on the PA system. Crowd loses their shit. Edge comes out, which I still can't believe I'm saying out loud here. He stares down Christian, asks for the chair, but instead attacks Nick Wayne with the chair, nails Luchasaurus with the spear. Christian runs away. Nick Wayne feels like he looked like he died off a spear from Edge, and the show went off the air with Edge standing tall. Christian holding up his title here. Edge was able to shake hands with Sting and Darby Allin, and that's how AEW Dynamite, AEW WrestleDream went off the air. Dream matches. Let's talk about dream matches for Edge. Well, before I do that, I want to say this show was absolutely incredible. One of my favorite shows of the year so far. Well, let's talk about the dream matches we got for Edge here. Like, think about this here, right? We have, I listed off quite a few matches here. Edge versus Jay White, Edge versus Malachi Black, Edge versus Kenny Omega, Edge and Hangman Page, Edge and MJF. That is going to be, both promos alone between Edge and MJF is going to be great. Edge has never wrestled Jon Moxley. The fact that when Mox was in WWE under Dean Ambrose, that never happened because during that time Edge was retired, and by the time Edge came out of retirement, Moxley was long gone into AEW. So we get to have this match here. Edge versus Orange Cassidy. The reason I don't know why I like the idea of that match. It sounds a lot of fun. Edge and Eddie Kingston. Edge and Swerve Strickland. Edge and Juice Robinson. Edge and Samoa Joe. He brought up Samoa Joe's name. He can even wrestle people from New Japan whenever this happens. He can wrestle Okada, Ospreay, Naito. Naito and Edge sounds like a lot of fun because Naito can just his reaction to everything Edge is doing, you'd be like, what are you doing? You know? Edge and Shingo, Edge and Yota Tsuji, Edge and Sonata, Edge and Konosuke Takeshita. I'm excited to see what they're going to do with the Rated R Superstar in WWE. Or not WWE, in AEW. That sounds like a lot of fun, and I'm excited. I'm excited to see where all this goes. But yeah, let me guys know what you think. All right, let me know what you guys think about this show here. Leave it in the comment section below here. I'm fucking tired. I'm gonna go to bed after I edit this and put it out there to the world here. Remember the current Twitter, Misfit Wrestle PD, until I can change that to the Pile Driver Pulse, because that's the Sunday show that I do. There wasn't one this week, unfortunately, because I just don't like doing 3 shows for pay-per-views here. Like, you know, that's just not my thing to do, unfortunately. But yeah. But I've been Matt the Misfit. This has been the Misfit Wrestling Podcast. Until then, I will see you guys back here for Monday Night Raw. Oh boy, I don't even know what's going to happen next. What the fuck happens? What else is going to happen in this year in wrestling? We got 2 more months of Pro Wrestling F, and we'll find out. Until then, I've been Matt the Misfit. We're out.